So hello from not so sunny Derbyshire in the UK. Just a quick note from me really, just to say thank you. What an incredible honour it is for me to have received this award. About the actual image itself, it was taken hundreds of miles from here up in the Scottish mountains in winter. We'd been up there for probably 5 weeks, and in all of that time we had one day where we had the perfect conditions.
These are really the dream conditions. We need high winds, mobile snow, so really freezing conditions, and ideally a fresh dump of snow in the days preceding. This then creates this incredible spindrift that surges and rages across the open plateau. And a lot of the time, most of the hares will disappear. They'll actually go to ground. They dig sort of tunnels under the snow in the ditches up on this moorland. But on this day, this one particular hare, a hare that I've known for a number of years and I've worked with over the last 3 years, she's incredibly confiding, but she still requires all of the elements of trust and respect that I'd afford to any other living creature. I still creep towards her over a period of a long time, and then when I'm in position, then it's just a case of lying quietly within a few meters of her, waiting for these periods of activity that really only come about every half an hour or 45 minutes. A snowdrift has formed up against the side of my body, up against the side of my camera, and it's quite routine to end up shaking uncontrollably. And yeah, she was basically just disappearing into the snow. The snow was forming all around her and she was disappearing. And then in this moment, when all the snow had met her back, it had formed a sheet of ice. And so as she sat up to groom, this sheet of ice that had formed on her back started to break sort of almost tectonically, and she formed into this perfect spherical shape. And at the time I'm just sort of shooting, I can barely even see through the camera. And it's only in hindsight, it's only looking back through the images later, that images like this, out of the 100 that I took that day, they sort of pop out. So yeah, I'm aware of how lucky it was, but I'm also humbled and really proud that an animal that's, it's not one of the great icons of the world, it's not a polar bear or a lion or a tiger. This is a small native species to the UK. It's great that it is able to be seen on a global platform. Hopefully these images might have in some way given a voice to these creatures and enabled them to become ambassadors for their species. Their future will hopefully be a little bit brighter, because strange people like me go and lie next to them up on the mountains in the most incredible conditions and take pictures, and are lucky enough for things like this to happen to us.
My name is Peter Crich, and I'm a biologist and nature photographer working in Gorongosa National Park in Mozambique. Bats are some of the most remarkable mammals, some of the most remarkable animals on the planet, and I've been studying their behavior and biology for the last few years, and one of the aspects of their behavior that really fascinates me is their drinking behavior. A place like that, this little pen behind me, is one of the remaining bodies of water right now in the dry season in Gorongosa, and this is a place where bats congregate because they have to drink every day. So I decided to look into that behavior, look at how they approach water, how they take a sip. So to get the shot of a long-fingered bat drinking from a pen like this, that took me quite a lot of work. It took me over a year to actually get the technique right, to get the lighting right. In the process, I almost lost 2 cameras, and I actually did lose a couple of flashes, because in order to get close to the animal taking a sip, your camera has to actually be in the water. So the way I set up the shot was that I put a tripod completely underwater, with the camera being literally at the level of the water surface. And then I had to use multiple flashes. I believe I used 6 or 7 flashes to illuminate the background around the pond, and then I waited. And after about, I don't know, 700 or 1,000 trials, I eventually got the shot.
There are 3 species in the Netherlands: the small, round and long sundew. They are irresistible to insects. The small sundew is the most common species. They are small plants that you quickly pass by during a walk in a fen area. From a distance they often only stand out as small red balls among the vegetation. But it's worth taking a closer look. They lure their prey with temptations, such as delicious scents, striking colors and nectar. To then capture them very ingeniously via traps, drowning and sticky substances, and then digest them. We are talking about carnivorous plants. There are more than 600 species of plants, spread over 5 families, that have focused on catching prey. A genus of carnivorous plants, consisting of almost 200 species, of which 3 also occur in the Netherlands, is sundew. The leaves are strewn with glandular hairs, with many drops that sparkle beautifully when the sunlight falls on the plant. But there is also a danger in these glandular hairs, because there is a sticky substance with which they catch all kinds of small animals.
WildCare, an animal rescue organization based in Northern California, tracked the animals that were brought into its hospital after attack by house cat for 1 calendar year. They preserved the more than 200 bodies of those animals that did not survive. Each year, domestic cats kill an estimated 2 billion birds in the United States alone, in addition to billions of other animals. Melanie Piazza, the animal care director, had the idea for a photo shoot and invited me to document the animal remains. Since I spend 1 day each week volunteering at my local wildlife rescue, I could empathize with their efforts and was driven to create an image that could illustrate one significant impact our choices have on local wildlife. My challenge was to take hundreds of deceased animals and create something dignified, eye-catching, but without causing revulsion. The animals were removed from their tiny body bags and thawed. Melanie bandaged wounds all over again, and even groomed some to make them more presentable. I spent hours arranging the animals on the floor. Once placed, many could not be moved because they were bleeding onto the white backdrop. The winning image was captured with a DSLR, mounted on an overhead pole, triggered remotely via tablet, and lit with 2 off-camera strobes and large softboxes. We hoped that the photo would serve as fuel for discussion on the many ways we can reduce the number of wild animals killed by our pets. It turned out to be effective. In addition to the worldwide publicity gained from the big picture competition, the photo had millions of views and hundreds of thousands of engagements on social media. Thank you to Melanie, WildCare, the California Academy of Sciences, and the contest jury for recognizing the importance of this controversial topic.
There's power in silence. There's power in taking the time to observe and listen and give the stage to others. In this landscape, I need to be a quiet, subtle presence. It allows me to amplify other people's voices. I've been working in northern Kenya for 10 years, watching this story of coexistence, of communities coming together to protect what's left. The story of the Riteti Elephant Sanctuary is one of them. The first indigenous-owned and run elephant sanctuary in all of Africa. And when I met them, it was just a dream. Everybody said it was impossible, but they were never giving up.
If we give up, she'll give up.
That's what kept me glued to them. Okay. It is the indigenous communities that hold the key to saving these last great spaces. And it's been this beautiful journey to see it evolve into something powerful, something that can inspire all of us. It's all out, don't you? And as a filmmaker and storyteller, I need to create an environment where people feel safe. And not just people, but these magnificent creatures.
Amy, be careful.
You naughty thing, you. You sweet thing. Do you remember? Many of these elephants arrived traumatized. Shaba was one of those. She had just witnessed her own mother die in front of her. And she knew that humans were responsible for this. I had to build that trust. There was this moment when Shaba walked by me and brushed her trunk up alongside me, smelled me, and just kept going, and allowed me to be in the center of all of these babies playing. I just understood at that moment I was accepted by the herd.
Hi, Shaba. Hi, you beautiful girl.
That was this critical moment that things changed. Because I could just move along and get these close, intimate shots, they're not afraid. There's trust. I think it takes time to tell a story and to witness how things unfold, and time to build that trust.
You love to untie the shoelaces.
When I'm working in the field, I need to be immersed and connect to the story.
Like, that was funny.
I need to come out from around the camera and see whether it's elephants or people face to face, because there are these really intimate moments where people I love are opening their hearts to me. I need to be able to look them in the eye and hold their hand and share this moment together. My job is really to give the voice back to the people and the animals who I'm photographing and whose stories I'm sharing.
You're so sweet. I'm gonna die of cuteness overload right here.
These stories are empowering. They connect us and remind us that we all have the capacity to reimagine our future. I'm Amy Vitale, and I'm a photographer and filmmaker.